Hi friends, it's been a little while, or at least it feels like it's been a little while. I wanted to take you behind the scenes of my day today, just, standard day in the life of the minimalist, but also someone who works from home because we are filming today for a video that will be coming out very soon, maybe even before you're watching this. We will see how quickly I get my editing in gear. Funny thing is I actually vlogged last week, but then just had no time to edit it, and now a lot of what I talked about, it's like kind of outdated information. So I thought I would catch you up today, and I don't really do a lot with getting ready or makeup, but since I am filming today, I thought I would chat with you a little bit while I do some makeup, sort of like a very low-key get ready with me. Again, I don't really do a whole lot, so this will be very quick, but we'll start with that and then we'll get into other parts of the vlog. Also, I'm very new to this, so this seems like a random angle. I guess I can keep talking to you this way, but then you can also see the mirror if I'm looking at the mirror. I don't know. Also, things are a little dirty, so need to clean that. So it's currently Tuesday the 26th today, and right now it is a work day, but I feel like I'm kind of on weekend mode. The last week has been a blur, and I feel like I'm a little behind on a lot of stuff from some of the projects I was working on. Very exciting news that I had meant to share and I just hadn't had the chance. I was featured in a podcast. I did the interview last Tuesday and it was really fun. It was with a show called The More Mindset, and the host, Justin, was really nice, and we had a good conversation talking a little bit about different minimalism things, a bit with like productivity and advice I would have told myself in the past. Like it was a lot of fun. So I will leave the link below in this video. I feel bad. I had meant to share this out a little bit sooner, but just didn't have the chance. So that is linked below if you're interested. There is a video version as well as the actual podcast version on like iTunes and all of that. I think with my live videos, I need to do better on the camera quality. There were a couple live videos in the past that I used Jake's computer with a webcam because the webcam we have is not for Mac, it's for Windows. And he has a laptop for that. And that definitely helps the quality a lot. But I also am not really comfortable with that computer, which is why I just default to my actual one. So I feel badly that the video quality on my end, it looked a lot better during the live call than it did in the recording when I look after, so I felt a little bad about that. But the audio should be good if you listen to the audio versions. That was last week. I am kind of treating today, Monday and Tuesday, as like weekend days because I worked nonstop last weekend, and for 5 days in a row I was basically working nonstop. I actually just launched, this is my third course. Now this is not an Abundantly Minimal course. By the way, this was just a tinted moisturizer, or I guess a BB cream. I don't do like foundation full coverage normally. So I launched my third course. It's specifically teaching teacherpreneurs or teacher authors who sell their teaching resources how to use YouTube and market with YouTube. And so kind of how it all started was back in September. Her name is Shelly Reese. She's one of the top like curriculum developers in the Teachers Pay Teachers space. She's actually the person who did the keynote at the conference back in 2019. That's how I discovered her, and I took her online course, which was awesome. But I saw that she was having an opportunity where you could host a mini course on her website about an area of expertise. And so I was thinking, well, YouTube is an area of expertise for me. I love YouTube. I'm very passionate about the platform. I've learned a lot about the platform, and a lot of teachers are not using it. Like, there's definitely a lot of, fields that are a little bit more saturated, but teaching, there's very few teachers on the platform. And kind of my hope, like with Mr. and Mrs. Social Studies, my other business, my hope is that we become the #1 spot for social studies teachers, because there's currently not any. We might already have that spot just because there's no one else who's doing it, at least that I'm aware of. Yeah, so I was working on that course literally for 5 full days, kind of like nonstop, and maybe at the most I was doing like 1 or 2 hours of work on other projects. So very little else got accomplished. So I feel like I'm behind on a lot of the basic stuff for the businesses. I finished everything, including like the marketing parts of the course and my course bio and all that stuff, at 2 in the morning. I guess technically Monday morning, but I viewed it as Sunday night because I hadn't gone to bed yet. So it was intense, but I'm really happy the course is up. There are 12 people who were selected and I was one of the 12. By the way, this is the Pacifica Dream Big mascara. I like that it has like a wand where you can twist it to either be longer or more compact. So I do one coat when it's longer and one coat when it's more compact, which is like the volume portion. The coolest part, obviously, the person who's hosting the site, Shelly, she's super cool and awesome and sweet and talented, and I have a lot of respect for her. So after I submitted everything, she looked over it and she said that everything looked amazing. So that made me feel really good. And then what was crazy, we were talking more yesterday and she hasn't marketed anything. Like the course is available public if someone knows where to go. But someone already bought it on the first day, which then was just like extra validation, because whenever you put something out like an ebook, a course, you hope it's going to be successful. You hope that you're answering a question or fulfilling a need that someone has, but you never know if people actually want that or need that. And I've had it go both ways. I've had things go very well, and I've also had things kind of do embarrassingly bad. My Declutter Without Guilt ebook, which I haven't promoted much at this point, so I think that's part of my own fault, but it has not sold that well. It's only sold, I think, 13 or 14, which for all the effort that goes into writing a 40-page book, and to only sell that much, number one, I'm not really helping as many people with it, and then number two, it was not a good use of my time. And so I had a couple other ebook ideas in place, but after seeing how poorly that did, it makes me question, well, should I even be wasting my time with that at all? Granted, some of it is my own fault for not marketing it more, but at the same time, I'm also doing a lot of other things, so I don't want to just spend my time, focusing on that. So the bottom line is, it just feels validating that someone, before it was marketed, before it was announced even, before I shared any information about it, someone already bought it the first day. Like, that just feels so good, especially when you put so much time into something. By the way, this was just Juice Beauty gloss. This is pretty old. I've had it for a long time. It is a great company though. And then this was Bare Minerals blush. This is also super old. The makeup is done. All I did was brush it, but that should be fine. I might switch it up a little bit for different scenes for the filming, but that's kind of the gist. So let's, I'll take you along other parts of the day. I just finished filming the video. Honestly, I'm so excited. This is when it's going to come out. I really feel like it's one of my best videos I've done in a long time, maybe ever. And I think the message is really important as well, so I'm just so excited. It was a blast to film, and right now I'm just making some late lunch. However, the exciting news is that Jake technically got done from work about an hour ago. Now he's still there working on something. He's an overachiever. We're both overachievers, but he will be home a lot earlier than normal. So I thought I would make us a special lunch because he also is getting home earlier because of Thanksgiving week. He doesn't get the whole week off. He's had parent-teacher conferences at school the past 2 days. So he gets Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little festive meal. Well, not really like festive Thanksgiving. I want to show you what we're making. So a couple things. First of all, how much fun is this? These are the Brussels sprouts, and Trader Joe's sells them in the stock. It's so much fun. And what's really nice is that you just twist them off. You just twist them off. They're super fresh. And then also there's no like gross ends you have to cut off. So it's really great. I'm gonna roast these. I think I might just do a jumbo batch. We are going to Jake's aunt and uncle's house for Thanksgiving. I think I'll probably be making 3 or 4 things this year to bring, but one of those is gonna be roasted Brussels sprouts. I make a really yummy maple, mustard, and tahini like sauce for them, and it is so good. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that for now. Maybe I'll just prep all of them in advance right now, and then we're gonna be doing some pesto pasta. This is the Trader Joe's pesto sauce, which is super easy and delicious. It's kale, cashew, and basil pesto. And different side of Aunt and Uncle's on Jake's side was very generous, and they gave us a pasta subscription for our gift this year, and the first one showed up a few days ago. So it's this tagliatelle. Probably not good pronunciation there, but I'm gonna cook that up as well. And these are definitely a little bit higher end pastas than we normally buy. I'll just buy like the basic organic stuff from the grocery store that's like $1 or $1.50. So this is very nice stuff. So we are excited to give it a try, and I thought it'd be just a fun special meal for when Jake comes home. Random pasta sauce hack. I did put this in there, and it's not quite enough to cover like all of this. So a hack is to take cashew butter, if you are vegan, but take cashew butter and mixing cashew butter with a little bit of water. It's sort of like if you were blending up like a cashew cream sauce for the pasta. And I do have a soft spot for pesto cream, so I'm gonna do that actually, and I'm just gonna add like a little bit of garlic powder and nutritional yeast for some cheesy flavor, and I think it's gonna be good. Checking in a little bit later, we had a very nice meal together. We went for a short walk, but then it started raining on us, so we just kind of headed back. Been a relaxing night, and for whatever reason, I'm just feeling inspired to go through some of the items in, this is our spare room slash my studio slash currently where a lot of the curriculum materials are being held. And one of the first episodes of the vlog, I went through this and kind of organized it the first time, and obviously it was keeping more books and materials than I wanted, but I do curriculum development, you know, more on a full-time basis now and use a lot of the materials. If I'm creating a resource for teachers, I want it to be like high level, and so I'll have maybe 6 or 7 books out and working through those, reading through sections just to make sure it's like the best possible thing. So I definitely use them. However, I've created, I think, about 40 resources for teachers over the last couple months that are for sale. And in doing that, I've also realized I don't need all of the books that I'm holding on to, and I probably won't get to that many. But my goal is to clear off the materials over here on that particular surface so that I'm able to just have that open spot and have better organization of the files that I have. So let's do it. Hey again. It's a few hours since I checked back in before. I've done some work on the space. We took a break for dinner. I did a little bit more additional Thanksgiving meal prep. I made some homemade cranberry sauce, which is one of my favorites. Granted, I did not realize we did not have very much sugar, so it's a bit on the sour side. So I may do something to pump up the sweetness a little bit, but we made like a turkey sandwich with the cranberry sauce and hummus. It was with the Tofurkey deli slices, which Trader Joe's carries for a pretty affordable price, and they're pretty good. Jake really likes having them in his lunches for school, and I thought that could be like a festive sandwich to have, as well as then it means I prepped another ingredient to bring over to the Thanksgiving gathering on Thursday. But so far so good here. Jake's actually watching Star Wars right now, and I will be just kind of tying up loose ends here. A couple of things that I did. First, we had an old paint sample card. And so I cut it up just to label the drawers of this dresser here. It is just an old secondhand dresser that at some point we might paint it and redo knobs. One of the knobs is broken, but it seems to work well. So I just divided up. I've got ancient world history, US history, just general like teaching skills stuff, and then like reading skills, writing skills, primary source skills, and business. So, and then down here is kind of like crafty, decorative stuff. Not crafts like that I do for fun, but well, I mean, it is fun, but it's more so like for business purposes. I haven't fully optimized it yet, but essentially when I get into more product photography. I actually just bought a printer like to use for business purposes a couple days ago, and it should arrive tomorrow, which I'm excited about. But that will essentially now be able to print out photographs, and so you kind of stage the photographs with props and things to make them more appealing and to help a teacher visualize what they might look like in their classroom. So that's kind of what's down here, some of it. Going through the books was actually a lot more difficult than I expected, because I just am very excited with curriculum development, and I think this is the part that makes me the most sad, but it's very changeable, is just I love Abundantly Minimal, but I think I love doing the curriculum development more, and I'm not allocating my time in that way yet. So if I had to break it down, I probably work about 10 hours a day would probably be what it is, 10 or 12. And on average, of course it depends, but on average I'm probably working maybe 8 of those hours on Abundantly Minimal, and then the 2 to 4 on the teaching channel. Now again, it just depends. Like I said earlier in the vlog, not yesterday, but before that, the 5 days were like full on for that teaching course about YouTube that I put together. So obviously those days it was like all that, but in terms of creating the resources for other teachers, I think I'd like to be doing that more. So I don't know what that means, if I'll be scaling back Abundantly Minimal. I've kind of, how I've been thinking about it is that 2019 has been the year of Abundantly Minimal. It was the year that the channel really grew. I built my first course ever and have launched it twice, and we're about done. The second group of students is about done with it, and it will launch again in January. I created Conventional to Intentional, which is my other course, and I love that one. That was so much fun, and that was like the soul project. And I've learned a lot in the process too, and hope to continue improving things. But I think that 2020 is going to be the year of Mr. and Mrs. Social Studies growth, hopefully. So I've definitely still been doing things as I go, but back in October, when it was my birthday, I kind of put together a vision board of what I want my next year of life to look like. And one of the things is to end up with a total of 300 resources in our Teachers Pay Teachers store. And right now we're at 85. Granted, that's a lot better than the 43 we were at back in July, but I want to keep pushing on that. So who knows? Anyway, I found a couple books to get rid of. There is one I already gave to Jake to pass on to another teacher. Sometimes there's pressure within education, and I get it a little bit sometimes in my decluttering videos where I show I'm decluttering, where people really don't want things to be let go of. They want the item to be useful, which is well intended, but we don't want to just pass our clutter on to someone else and have it become their new clutter. It's different if someone's choosing to bring that item in without you being like, hey, do you want this? That's different because they're making that conscious choice. So I think it's important for us to, be mindful of that, as well as there's so many different layers with which you can view something. There were a couple of resources I had to recycle because the stuff was so outdated and like in a really bad way that I didn't want other teachers using that. There was actually a book when I was working on some Egypt curriculum development, and one of the books was like very sexist and racist. It was printed in like the early 90s. So it's like, I recycled that. Yeah, technically I could have passed it on, but no other teacher is going to use that. And I hope they don't, because of the, bad, because of the outdated and not so great lessons involved there. Some of the stuff, I don't know if anyone would want, but I'm not going to like force it on a teacher like, hey, take this, because teachers are busy enough. Education changes so much. So that being said, this book I had intended to read to get a deeper perspective on the Gilded Age, but I realized just the pace I'm going through books is a little bit too slow to be able to actually get through all of these things. So I'm gonna let it go. I had a lot of Civil War books, so I decided to keep my top 2, and these were the 2 that did not make the cut. So again, 2 books on the Civil War. We'll be donating these. This was probably far-fetched. This was just a random teaching book that I think had gotten passed on. And it has to do with creative teaching with fairy tales, and sometimes there's different like historical legends, but we're not gonna take the time to go through that. So that's what I've gotten rid of so far. I still have a couple piles left to go through. It's been tougher than I thought, but I'm trying to have a really critical lens to decide what actually makes the cut. It is funny. This is going to be a little sassy Sarah moment, but in that decluttering video, I actually had to block another a commenter who, I mean, at first she insulted my appearance, which like that happens often, so whatever. But then, so she is a teacher. I mean, I blocked her. I don't know. I assume she doesn't follow this channel, but she basically made a comment of like, wow, you know, a teacher getting rid of books, like shameful, and like kids don't follow this example, like read the books. And then she was like, I'm so thankful you're no longer a teacher, so I don't have to like associate with people like you or something. And I was like, dang. I mean, I got rid of that comment because I did not want to internalize that. And to be honest, that comment did bother me a bit. I mean, I definitely recognize like when people write hurtful things, they're probably hurting inside themselves. But it's good fuel, because my honest goal with Mr. and Mrs. Social Studies, I genuinely want to be one of the top leaders in the US for social studies education. I truly believe that one of my big purposes in life is to do what I can to transform education, specifically within social studies, just because there's a lot that's broken. But the thing is, a lot of it can be very fixable, even if it's just at the classroom to classroom level. So anyway, again, I know most of you are not here from the social studies teacher perspective, you're here from the Abundantly Minimal perspective, but yeah, so just because I'm getting rid of these books does not mean that I don't read, or I am not using a lot of research. This is probably only about, you know, 3 or 4% of what I have here total that I plan to be working with more. So I'm gonna keep going. I'll show you anything else I get rid of a little bit later on. All right, I'm about done for the night in this area. It's a little after 11 p.m. I found a couple more books that I'll be getting rid of, as well as a lot of stuff that's getting recycled. And then more things that are not just plain paper. There's a bunch of other stuff, so it will have to be thrown away. Some laminated stuff as well. My biggest victory is just the fact that I now know more where everything is, and there is some stuff still on that desk there, but it's definitely better than before. Or not desk, the nightstand thing. So, progress. I know this is my ancient civilization stuff that I was reading through earlier this week, and I have a couple other projects to do in the meantime, but I will get back to these, and then they'll actually go where they belong after I'm done going through them for the Egypt materials. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to end the vlog here, then I'll get it edited, and it will go up tomorrow morning. If you're watching this right away, it will be up Wednesday morning, the 27th, and then stay tuned, because in the afternoon, 3 p.m. on Abundantly Minimal, very excited about the video that will be uploaded. So if you're watching it after 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on November 27th, definitely check out, I'll have it linked below, because I'm excited. One of my favorite videos of all time. So I'll hopefully see you there. Have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this, and we'll talk soon. Bye.